I am renovation specialist for the asset team on renewing management. I grew up in a home, like I said, both parents were there, but my dad struggled with depression and illness, and he didn't believe in God. So it's not that I was raised in a household where God was bashed, but it just wasn't talked about. But I've known my entire life that I believed in God. You know, it was like, you have to believe in something, and I believe in God. I remember going to church on Sundays with like friends I could find whose family was in that because I wanted to know more about God, but I was scared of my dad, so I couldn't voice it at home. When I was 19, my dad committed suicide. And, you know, I think people probably wonder, where does addiction start? You know, and I think for a lot of people, it's something tragic happens. You know, I never was the type to just think about drugs or anything along that line, but when something bad happens, everything, you know, one thing can make everything fall apart. And that's what happened. You know, my dad committed suicide when I was 19, and just a string of events after that occurred that led me to just hanging out with the wrong people, you know, people that thought they were doing what was right by me by like, hey, let's just let loose, have a little bit of fun, not knowing that it was going to turn into destructive behavior that just made me, like I said, spiral out of control for 12 years of my life. I couldn't tell you how long I just walked around being a shell of a human being. I wasn't a human. That's the reason that I used, was to remain numb, to not face reality, everything that happened. I mean, you think about how much someone can destroy their life in 12 years, you know. I had nothing left in me to give. I had no feelings or emotions. I just didn't care anymore. I didn't care. I hit rock bottom so many times, but towards the end of this, it was like I was in trouble with the law. This is my second time in prison. I've been in and out of county jail many times. But this time particularly, I had been on the run with a warrant for almost a year. And I don't think somebody that hasn't been like something like that, you can't really fathom what that does to you, because not only are you homeless and running around and you're scared, you're fearful all the time, it just strips you of everything, along with using the drugs, but just, you know, knowing that you're living on the wrong side of the law like that, and you're just scared all the time. So at the end of that year, when I finally got arrested, it was like, I remember being put into the holding cell, and it was almost like I just hit my knees in relief almost, because it was like, you know, it's over. It has to be over. But if I would have got taken back to my county after doing that prison time or whatever, it's not that, I mean, addiction, it's a choice, it's a disease, but everything in life is a choice, you know? So you're gonna choose whether you want to use or not. So I'm not saying that I couldn't have gone back home and succeeded, but it wouldn't have been to the level that I am right now. I came to the Crane House from the Indianapolis Women's Prison. I went to prison. When I got there, I found out I was pregnant. Yeah, found out I was pregnant, and COVID had hit hard right around that same time. I was supposed to spend 16 months in prison, and I was supposed to have my baby in prison. But I was there for roughly 2 months, and because of COVID and me being pregnant, they wanted me out of the prison, so they put me in the work release in Indianapolis at the Crane House. I am from Evansville, so I'm from down south. And when you're in the system, you go to like work releases, or they release you from incarceration, you go to places back in your county. But because of COVID, they weren't accepting nobody back into my county. So how ironic it was that I landed in Indianapolis. It was never planned. I was supposed to be in the prison, then go back to Evansville, but I got sent to the Crane House instead. And I think I had been at the Crane House for 9 months. I'd already had Kaiser. He was like close to 6 months, you know. And he's not my only child. Yeah, and I struggle with that too, because I have a 16-year-old daughter back in Evansville, and I have a 10-year-old son in Evansville. My daughter's with her dad. I'm trying to rekindle our relationship, but it's going to take some time, you know. Then my mom has my 10-year-old, and me and my mom get along very well, and I have contact with them, you know, but I stopped being a mother for those 12 years. And I had my daughter when I was 15. God showed me at an early age, if there was anything that I was made to do well, is to be a mother. And the addiction stole that from me. And that was the most important thing, and is the most important thing to me, because here I sit 12 years later and like, I am getting another chance to be a mother, and I'm doing very well at it, you know? So I have to tell my story, and saying this stuff out loud helps me make sense of all of it. It helps me like just be proud of myself. Like, look how far you came, you know? It was getting closer to my release, and my case manager had come to me and asked me about renewing management. So they came to me and recommended it, and it just took off from there. And I've been with them ever since. I was released from work release April 26th of last year, and on that day I moved into my apartment here. And I've had it for 1 year now. I've been with the team for 1 year now. And I came to renewing management. I started April of 2021. The asset team, okay, so it is, like I said, renovation of all the properties that like Ethan buys. We go into them and we just renovate them, or we help just do, you know, maintenance on stuff like that. It's in the lines of construction. The asset team is specifically it's a reentry program for people that are coming out of some type of incarceration, that don't have any experience, little to no experience in this work field, and they train you. It's like a school really, but it's a job too. So they just help you with, you know, housing and all that. So the experiences, I mean, the way my lifestyle for the last 12 years before this, for one, I was in a place where I'd never even seen myself recovering from the addiction and getting out of trouble, let alone seeing myself as a woman going into a construction field. You know what I mean? It's something that the experience has been life-changing for me. And I wouldn't say that it came out the gate like that. I knew I was going to be a part of something special, but I didn't know if I was going to be cut out to do this kind of work. And every day it's been like just something, a little bit more of a reassurance, like this is where I'm meant to be, you know? And that's what's so special about it, is because where can you find an organization that is going to take a chance on somebody with a troubled past and just pave the way for them to succeed in all areas of their life? You know, and that's what the asset team does. I mean, I have improved spiritually, mentally, my health, physically. I mean, renewing does that for you. The asset team specifically does that for you, because it shows you that somebody's willing to take a chance on you. No matter how many chances you've had before, the slate is wiped clean. But I know that my career is going to be with renewing, and it could go in many different ways, you know. So I know that for a fact. I want to stay with this company and prosper and just take any door that opens for me. I want to be a better, like I said, woman and a mother for Kaiser, because I have a lot to learn still. But I know that I've been put right where I need to be. That way I can do that. Times like now that I think he never left my side. So I owe it to myself and to God to further my relationship with him. But it's very new. Like, I just got baptized for the first time, you know, a year ago. I'm just now learning how to like pray out loud without crying and not knowing what to say. And I have like, you know, this organization, people that are in it that have like made me feel comfortable enough to do that, you know, because I owe all the glory to God. I know that I made it through that. You know, a lot of people wouldn't make it through that kind of stuff. A lot of people don't. It happens all the time. You know, it's made me feel completely worthy of everything good that this life has to offer, again, because of God and renewing management and the asset team.